In pre-practice inspection at Phoenix, Arizona, some louvers were taken from all four Hendrick cars and one of the Kauling cars. Now, I have a problem with these penalties, and I'll tell you why. Very simple. And yes, disclaimer: I'm a Chase Elliott fan. Sad to see him out, but um, the fact that Hendrick cars got it, this is a single source part. This is a single source part. Hendrick cars, of course, come out of their shop. The Kauling cars come out of Richard Childress' shop. So you got 5 cars that had louvers taken from 2 different shops. Now, it seems to me, especially if it's, and both teams have elected to appeal, which I totally agree with. Now, Hendrick did go ahead and have their crew chief start serving their suspension this week, but I totally agree with them appealing. The teams have talked about inconsistencies in these single source parts. Frankly, I don't like this new car at all. It takes the creativity away. Teams were designing their own chassis within the parameters of NASCAR rules. That's all went away. Back in the day, I'm talking late 70s, early 80s, he talked about whether you run a Banjo Matthews car, Hutcherson Pagan chassis, and some other Jay Hedgecock, I believe, and teams, Hendrick and Childress, were both at one time building their own chassis in-house. But these single source parts, teams have been finding inconsistencies in them. And it sounds like since these cars come from 2 different organizations, that's exactly what we have here. Now, I could be wrong. I'm real interested to see how the appeals come out because they can go to the appeal board, and the appeal board can, and they have done this before, but not on a rules violation, can increase the penalty, decrease the penalty, or throw it out. Now, the time they increased the penalty, I can think of was on Jeff Purvis for fighting. They actually added a race to the suspension. That's why when Jeff Gordon waited on Clint Boyer at Phoenix and he got a big fine, big points deduction, Hendrick immediately announced they weren't going to appeal it because he wasn't sitting out a race. A lot of people thought he should. That's just an idea of what the appeals committee can do. And then they can appeal it to the commissioner. I'm not sure who that is. I would love to know. I'd like to see who's on the appeals committee now. I did way back when. I did a blog. I questioned some of the people on the appeals committee, even saying that if a engine builder was for one company was on the board and there was a question about an engine on another brand, if he could be fair, be quite honest about it. So I'd love to know who's on the appeals board. There were some ex-drivers on it then. One of them, I believe, was Buddy Baker, who sadly passed away. I don't know who the commissioner is, but it's going to be interesting because NASCAR and their rules. I mean, they got this. And the point is, these parts were not run in the race, or I believe even in practice. The cars were changed for the race, and Hendrick still came out on top. So it's not like they were any speed advantage. They say these parts are inconsistent. They have to grind on them to get them to fit, and that's probably what they got them for. Just my opinion for what it's worth. And like I say, I'm a Chase Elliott fan, makes me a Hendrick fan, which I wasn't always. In fact, I'm going to be quite honest. I used to call Hendrick convicted felon motorsport.